station, the Protoss player for the Prime team.
Creator Prime.
Very young, very successful. Winner of WCS Korea last year.
16 years old, up against a 22-year-old Terran player for Team Azubu to the top left of the map.
Azubu SuperNova.
SuperNova won his Code A qualifier bracket. He was all the way down in Code B, and he had a really easy bracket compared to others. He won 2 Terran versus Terran in the first round. He actually got a bye, and then in the finals he took down a Zerg player called Burning. So a rather easy bracket for the Azubu player. But then he ended up in the first round of Code A, where he had to play against Labyrinth, took in out with a 2-0, advanced to play against DRG, who dropped down from Code S, where he also took the series with a 2-0, didn't lose a single map so far, and finds himself now in the third round up against Creator. And if he beats his opponent, he will be in Code S.
Absolutely true. Well, it looks like we're going to have a CC first from SuperNova. No fear.
Yep. Going for the CC first here. And the Protoss player at the bottom is now just taking his gas. And talking a little bit about Creator, he was of course in Code S, as most of you guys will already know. And he was in one group with Roro, with Bomber, and also with Crazy, which we saw play earlier. Creator lost against Bomber in the first best of 3, and then later on he took down Crazy, had to play against Bomber again, but Bomber just was his kryptonite in this group. So Creator placing a third in the group, dropped down, and has to play now in this round.
Yeah. You know, this is an interesting opening for Creator. He gets a second gas very much late, but he still only kept 2 in the first gas, and now he's going to send 2 into here. So he can still get his Mothership core off pretty fast, but it's not going to be as fast as, you know, you would normally see that.
Yeah. Creator has the same reputation as Tails from Team MVP. He's a player who is very technical with his builds and is always coming up with new builds and new ideas. But he's a lot more successful than Tails, especially in the individual league. Tails more known for his sniping abilities in the GSTL. Don't forget that we have the next GSTL matches coming on Friday and Saturday.
Yep, be sure to watch those. Things are really starting to develop.
Yeah, Scarlet is actually starting first for Team Azubu.
Oh, you mean Aximacer, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what sort of crazy team changes happened?
No. We didn't have a team change. I was just looking at SuperNova's name at the panel on top, but that's why suddenly I had that. Yeah, but she's starting first. She's the starting player for a team.
Well, Creator is, you know, he's one of the players, speaking of Team League, that they rely on a lot of the time. He's one of the 4, the other 3 being Marine King, Byun, and Maru. And he did not come through for his team last time either, so he's been having some rough times. His Code S group that he fell from, you know, it was not a terrible group for him, but he just wasn't able to overcome it. And now he's in a position where, you know, he wants to get right back into Code S. He would definitely, absolutely not want to go into that up and down, so that would be horrible for him.
Yeah. The thing about Creator is, if you compare his age to Lives, they are exactly, well, they are the same age. They're both 16. But the difference between Creator and Live really is that Creator, he has a lot more anxiety than a player than Life. He's always in a position where he has a lot of high expectations to himself, and he takes it very hard if he loses important matches. He actually is known to break down in tears in the first GSTL season, the semifinals against TSL back then, and you can really see it in the booth. When he loses one of those important games, he's in a really, really bad spot. So I feel that this is one of the biggest things that sets him apart from Life. If he can't deal with this, with his feelings and with his emotions, then I feel he would be even more successful than he already is at this young age.
Yeah. He's unscouted the Marines. He has not scouted them. He doesn't like scout them than like taking his scouting information away from himself. He is not unscouted.
And this is going to be very difficult to deal with, especially since he's going into double forge. He doesn't have a lot of units here to protect them.
And the Mothership core is in the main base. He wants to get it over just into range of that Nexus so he can hit that photon overcharge. And a good defense here.
That's the cool thing about the Mothership core. If you have it out, it is so much easier to defend against these attacks. So this gives Creator now enough time to get his warp gate up, to go into the upgrades, and to warp in another set of units if SuperNova would decide to move in again, which is not the case here.
Yeah. It was, you know, very scary. If the Mothership core range was a little bit lower, then that definitely would have been a problem for Creator. But as he stood, he knows his Mothership core can even activate the cannon from his main base, so he doesn't have to go down near those Marines. saved his Stalker, and that could have been a lot worse. I like that defense because he's playing a greedy game here, but you know, if you have that Mothership core out and your opponent goes for some later pressure off of 2 base, then you should be able to hold it.
That's a build that we've seen several times in the past, at least so far. We have him heading into the Twilight Council. What we saw a couple of times was also the Robo being thrown down, and then a Warp Prism with a few DTs. But what is different about this build is that Creator is getting the double Forged faster. The Tails build that I just mentioned went without the double Robo. Just later on in the game you would get your upgrades, but Creator is really a player who loves getting very strong units, good upgrades out there, so that's what he's doing first. But he's still very safe with this, and he doesn't even bother with any kind of Dark Shrine, but he goes straight into the Templar Archive. Yeah, with a really fast Templar Archive, we're probably just going to see very quick Archons. I don't think we'll see Storm on 2 base. It's something that's very difficult to afford when you're going for this type of double Forge style. With the charge upgrade that he's getting, it really looks like he wants to go for Archon Zealot and a strong attack here with the good upgrades. We've seen this several times in the past, and it's definitely difficult to deal with if executed properly. Yeah. And Creator, as you can see, doesn't spend a second on 1-1. He immediately starts +2/+2. Exactly, and this is something that could be really scary. SuperNova is not taking any chances, though. He has double bunker up at the front. He's going to need a lot more than that if we do have this attack that seems more and more likely to come. We're seeing some gateways go down now, and I think we may very well see that attack with a bunch of Charged Zealots, 2-2, and Archons. Yeah, I would think. I mean, he's gearing up heavily. If you want to take another base, then he would still be producing probes at this point. He would also make sure that he gets these minerals that he's investing now into the gateways up into a 3rd base. So that's something where we can definitely assume the Creator is going for aggression. We have a Widow Mine out. 2nd one is on the way, though, and there are a lot of bunkers. So, you know, SuperNova, he's going to need a bigger wall. He's probably going to want 5 or 6 bunkers to be able to hold this, but if he doesn't scout it, if he doesn't know, then I think that this build may actually just break him. There's so many gateways coming up now for Creator, and he timed that out perfectly. He is halfway done with +2/+2, and SuperNova has to do something. I mean, he scouts ahead, he sees the Archons, and by now he should know what's coming. He immediately retreats, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him set up additional defenses. Yeah, he needs to. He definitely is going to want like 5 bunkers right there. But he's actually pulling out of the bunkers, wants to keep his opponent in his base using drops. So he's going to try to delay this using a dropship aggression. We have hallucinations on the way, though, trying to find out if there are dropships coming, and also getting an additional scout in the main base, just passing the medevac. Yeah, but his army is still fairly close by, don't forget. Moving out, but the dropship gets into the main base. Now SuperNova has a quick window where he can do some damage. There comes the 3rd base, actually. Creator. He just switches his tactic here, I think. They'll still build no probes, though. He wants to do damage and wants to have the 3rd behind it, but he needs to warp in a few units into the main base if he wants to deal with that aggression over there. Yeah, he's starting to lose a lot in the main base. He does have a few units to push it back. More bunkers going down for SuperNova. He's getting a little bit desperate here. Yeah, SuperNova has to be very careful here, because here comes Creator. +2/+2 is done. The Protoss is moving in. The Archon's doing a lot of damage against those bunkers. He's taking down the 1st one. The force fields are good, but can he take down the 2nd? He's really having some trouble here breaking through with all the medevacs healing. Even the SCVs, he couldn't kill SCVs with Archons. That's how many medevacs were healing. There were not enough force fields to shield the bunkers against the SCVs. The repair was good, especially the last bunker was completely surrounded by SCVs. There was no chance for Creator to take that down. He didn't have enough DPS. Yeah, and you know, the Archons were trying to kill the SCVs, but the medevacs, there's so many of them. As you can see, it looks like 6 right there. We're just healing those SCVs up. The Archons couldn't kill them. They couldn't fire, so you need the Archons with Zealots together, but you just didn't have them in that angle. Massive drop is now coming Creator's way, and he just completed his robotics. He doesn't have observers on the map now, so he does not know that there are dropships heading towards his main base. Yeah, he's been relying only on hallucination scouts this entire game. There's the 1st observer now on the map, or at least it's starting to come out here. He doesn't even have it out of the bay just yet. And +3 has started. Meanwhile, the drop is in a perfect place. He doesn't have Blink. He does not have enough Warpins. This is going to do a ton of damage. This is doing a lot, especially with those Marauders. He can snipe the Nexus if he wants to. Takes down 2 pylons. A lot of those gateways not active anymore, and I think we will see this Nexus fall. Yeah, if he stims again, he'll definitely get it, and he does. Nexus is down. He can even fight here. He has a really good spot with his units, but he decides to move out. The damage has already been done. One of the medevacs goes down, but that was worth it. And oh, he even walks past his opponent's units. Yeah, he's still in the main base, or behind it. He can go into the natural. He's always got that threat, whereas SuperNova back at home is getting his own 3rd base, and Creator has to be really careful here. Creator's gonna lose a lot more. Here comes the drop once again. The tech is being targeted. He can stim and take down the Templar Archive and the Twilight Council if he wants to. Yeah, he's gonna get the Templar Archive.
Unfortunately, he didn't get the Twilight Council because that would have stopped +3 armor.
Another drop at the natural, taking down the cannon here, and the rest of the dropships already headed to give a bit of support.
Creator doesn't have enough army to defend all these locations, and now he's probably going to lose his natural next as well with the stim here. I think he will.
The photon overcharge is there. Widow Mines at the third. The base is gone at the natural, and he's going into the main base once again, or at least trying to, using the afterburners here.
Oh, Creator is being ripped apart like wrapping paper right now.
I don't think that Creator realized the Widow Mines. I don't think he saw that. He was so busy defending the natural. He might have missed it.
I think you're so right. He's going to lose more probes. The Widow Mines are going to go off in just a few seconds here.
Oh, in the main base, another attack. The Archon doesn't stand a chance, gets one shot off, that's all.
And the Widow Mines kill so many more probes. It looks like about 10 or 12 Harvesters just died again.
Supply 89 against 146, and Creator, he knows that he can only win if he may be able to break down this, this economy, this base, this defense at the front, but the EMPs are ready, the ghosts are there, no shields for the Archons.
This is just no chance, Creator.
Bye-bye, Creator.
Both Archons disappear, and so do his chances of victory. GG.
Super.